You probably heard about the stunt. You might have seen a picture of him engaging in it. But wait until you hear the details of leftist Democrat Congressman Jamaal Bowman's lame excuses for engaging in what appears to be legally forbidden behavior in order to delay a budget vote. And wait until you hear how some politicians and media figures are trying to excuse it. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRCTV. Well, the fickle face of government grandstanding has turned on a New York Democrat congressman and avowed socialist who previously seemed to love getting some camera time. World-wide-webdom caught virtual fire Saturday as both word and images spread to reveal that freshman House member Jamaal Bowman, a Democrat of New York, had pulled a fire alarm in a U.S. Capitol corridor, evidently to prevent a vote to, again, temporarily fund the bloated tick of the federal government with more deficit-expanding cash that maybe just wasn't enough for Bowman's big government agenda. The Intelligencer's Ben Jacobs wrote, quote, "The U.S. Capitol Police confirmed in a late afternoon statement that a fire alarm was activated on the second floor of the Cannon office building at 12:05 p.m., and the building was evacuated while officers made sure there was no threat. The USCP also said it was still investigating what happened." End quote. Of course, the tax-fed USCP didn't have to investigate very hard because Bowman and his team have issued confirmatory statements, and they dug the proverbial lame excuse hole deeper with each of their releases. First, one of the Democrat congressman's spokespeople stated, quote, "Congressman Bowman did not realize he would trigger a building alarm as he was rushing to make an urgent vote. The congressman regrets any confusion," end quote. Which appears to have been tailored to be short and sweet, an attempt to cauterize the wound and move on, as ne'er-do-wells often want others to do when we notice their malicious activities. But of course, for numerous reasons, many of us taxpayers, and even many in Congress, weren't satisfied with the statement, and we don't think it's appropriate to move on. In fact, some of us noted at the time Bowman's subordinates released the initial statement that the congressman's actions didn't just trigger confusion, they triggered alarm, literally, as the siren rang and the House membership stopped their proceedings on the budget. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Republican of California, offered some choice words and sentiment that perhaps many in and out of the chamber actually shared.
But when we found that an individual elected to Congress would pull a fire alarm, that's a new low. We watched how people have been treated if they've done something wrong in this Capitol. It'll be interesting to see how he is treated on what he was trying to obstruct when it came to the American public.
We will see what else McCarthy might do. For her part, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, took to her phone to record as she and others evacuated to the dulcet sound of the alarm. And she recorded as she stood outside her Cannon building office, noting her thoughts on Bowman's transgressive stunt.
"This is where I work, and this is exactly what happened." So we're inside in our office watching the floor debate. Catherine Clark, the Democrat whip, calls the motion to adjourn. And then the fire alarm goes off in our building, and they evacuate the entire building. This is while an official proceeding is happening on the House floor.
MTG brought some documents with her to look at Bowman's possible legal violations. Troubles that evidently Mr. Bowman didn't consider when he pulled the alarm, and that he and his team might want Americans to, well, maybe overlook. And in their subsequent attempt to gloss over the problems he created, Bowman and his PR lackeys made things more absurd, offering the fantastical excuse that, well, he just couldn't tell the difference between a red fire alarm that was marked as such and a door exit plate, and adding the minimizing "sorry for the confusion" rhetoric to boot. Quote, "My hope is that no one will make more of this than it was. I'm working very hard every day, including today, to do my job, to do it well, and to deliver for my constituents." End quote. It's easy to see that what Mr. Bowman claims is doing his job comes at our expense and includes votes that stand in complete contradistinction from the Constitution that actually created his office. If that's doing his job, perhaps he might feel more comfortable working for New York mobsters closer to home, folks who also seem not to care for the law. The insulting manner in which Bowman has tried to turn this around, as if those who would hold him accountable are the ones engaging in wrongdoing, that's rivaled only by his complete dismissal of the legal issues noted by people like MTG. But she's not the only person who cites statute to reveal Bowman's potential trouble. As Kate Anderson writes for the Daily Caller, Bowman's work stoppage of the Congress isn't the only legal problem he's created. Quote, "It is illegal for an individual to willfully or knowingly give a false alarm of fire within the District of Columbia, according to a district law. Bowman could be charged with a misdemeanor and face a sentence of up to 6 months in prison with a fine of no more than $100. End quote. If only those government surveillance cameras weren't around, Jamaal. You might be in a better position. Yeah, folks, cameras. The kinds of things for which Mr. Bowman in March posed as he yelled and pointed fingers at liberty-minded men like Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie. When cameras actually catch raw footage of Mr. Bowman, we get a pretty good idea of his personality and ethics. But because they seem more focused on leftist political agendas than real ethics, some pop media figures already are trying to give Bowman a pass. As Newsbusters' Alex Christie notes, MSNBC is unquestioningly presenting Bowman's lame excuse as truth in order to clarify the situation. And of course, CNN gave plenty of time to Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat of New York, to poo-poo the wrongdoing and try to claim it was Republicans who were wrong and showing the temerity to actually bring it up.
Have you talked to him? What's going on there?
I mean, listen, I think if you actually do see some of the photos of the signs, I think there's something to be said about the government's about to shut down. There's a vote clock that's going down. The exits that are normally open in that building were suddenly closed.
So you pulled the fire alarm?
So what I do think is important to raise is the fact that Republicans, representatives like Nicole Malliotakis and others, immediately moved to file motions to censure, motions to expel, before there has even been conversations that are finished to even see if there was a misunderstanding here.
It's all our fault that he pulled that. It's not his own fault. There's no information available as to whether Alexandria might have thought her own life was in danger at this terrible moment, as she has claimed she felt at other times in a congressional office. Regardless, we can rise above it all. Many of us who've had to suffer the tirades and tax-hungry bromides of this leftist politician know that the media cams and media shills eventually can't hide the truth. And Mr. Bowman can't smooth it over with pointless rhetoric and fantastical claims. Thanks for watching, one and all. Keep fighting for freedom, comrades. And join us at Rumble, where they don't censor us. Boy, are they fighting hard to keep free speech alive. Join us, hit the thumbs up, share the videos. Please follow us there. And of course, you can subscribe at YouTube and hit the thumbs up there and share the videos from there as well. And find us all the time at MRCTV.org. MRCTV.org. When you're there, visit the MRC Store and please consider donating to the Media Research Center in its 36th year of fighting left-wing bias. You can also find us in Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter/X. And if you want to find me on Gab, I'm at Gardner Goldsmith, and on Twitter/X, I'm at Gard Goldsmith. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.